The next one that I want to look at is continuous innovation. This was something that we did a lot of investigation into at TouchLab. And continuous innovation is something that builds on the strengths of a company, but develops a new business model on top of that. So what I'm really saying there is that we leverage the strengths and advantages of a company. So examples of this are a company like Apple. I put a little star there because there's potentially a bit of debate of whether they're disruptive or whether it's continuous. But my feeling is that Apple are actually a great example of continuous innovation. Because Apple for years has been producing iMacs, right? Desktop computers, those funky colored things that we see. And in doing that, they've managed these relationships with supply chains, factories in China where they get really good costing, and then distribution to people that sell this. So they've got all of these advantages. And then they went into the music space with the iPod, right? And it used all of the strengths that Apple had in design, manufacturing, but applied it to a different area of business, right? It wasn't desktop computers, it was something that you listen to music on in your pocket. And then they did it again with the smartphone. They realized, hey, we really understand how to build these great interfaces for browsing your music, listening to your music. We know how to put something in your pocket that has good battery life. And they extended that and used all of the strengths of that to produce something with a touch key. So that's good examples of continuous innovation. I think the other one within Media 24 that's pretty interesting is Palm Media. So as a company, we produce a lot of this content that gets printed, right, in a newspaper form, in a magazine form. But for a time, we didn't actually own the printing presses that did. So we've got all that advantage of controlling the demand. It makes sense to extend our business into those printing presses. And then the last one, I think, that does innovation, continuous innovation really well is DSTV. So DSTV has been around for, I think, like 20 to 30 years. It started with that Mnet decoder on top of your TV set. It was a massive thing. Then they got into satellite distribution, right? Now you can sit down in front of your DSTV Explorer and stream something. You don't have to wait for it to show at 7 in the evening. It's available whenever you want it, right? So DSTVs managed to iterate on top of their current business, but move into the space of someone like Netflix, right? Extend that reach into something like streaming. So the thing with continuous innovation is that it does require, in many cases, a new business model. So DSTV is a great one, right? They usually had a monthly subscription, but when they went to this on-demand option, on box office, they required that you pay 25 Rand a movie, right? So that's quite risky because you could invest all that money into developing that technology, but actually, no one wants it. So there is some risk there. It's a different business model. It's not a monthly subscription. It's a pay-per-view. So there is a lower chance of success with this than there would be in, say, something like process innovation. But the advantages of it are massive. If you can succeed in building that new business model, using all the advantages of your current company, it massively diversifies your income stream. So if you're a company like Media 24, who is currently being completely disrupted in their traditional advertising space, having different revenue streams that you've moved into is a really important part of keeping your business strong. So my feeling is that all businesses should strive for this type of innovation. This is really the hallmark of large company innovation.